Despite being just 22 and 21 years old respectively, Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero have a chance to do something rarely done by NBA teammates, which is each average 21 plus points, 5 plus rebounds, 4 plus assists, and at least one steal in the same season. The two Orlando Magic forwards are each on pace for those marks at the moment, although obviously there's still 2 months left of the season. As far as Franz specifically, he continues to dazzle with his blend of advanced footwork, patience, persistence, and touch on drives. One could argue that because of his finesse and unpredictability, that he's the best pure driver in the game, averaging 8.7 driving layups per 100 possessions and shooting 54% on them. The big difference between this year compared to his first 2 years in the league is that he's getting deeper into the paint on his drives. His first year, only 33% of his driving layups were taken in the restricted semicircle. Then last year it was 36%, and this year it's up to 46% per second spectrum. Now that's not an extremely high percentage for someone who drives as much as he does, but what the film shows is that he's incorporating more stopping and starting, accelerating and decelerating into his game to wait for the perfect moment to attack through the seams. He's incredible weaving in and out of traffic, and the discipline he shows is truly unreal. There's just endless shifting and pivoting that it makes it nearly impossible to restrain him from getting where he wants to go. Essentially, he's like Manu Ginobili but 4 inches taller. Maybe Manu was a little bit more acrobatic and dynamic off the bounce, making more circus-like shots, but the movements and craftiness are without a doubt similar. The other big thing Franz does well is move without the ball and catch defenders napping. He's among the leaders in shots off cuts, as is his big brother Mo Wagner, and the Magic as a team are exceptional at this. The thing about Orlando that's so unique is that they create shots off cuts through paint playmaking. In other words, by getting into the paint as much as they do, they're able to orchestrate from there and find cutters, as you see here with Franz as the recipient. What Franz has added a little bit more this year is a floater. Although his mission is to get as close to the basket as possible, he does fling up floaters from time to time. He's averaging 2.5 of them per 100 possessions this year. His first 2 years, he averaged 2.0 of them per 100 possessions. This is not one of his more efficient shot types, however, making 43% of them so far this season. His three-point shooting has been shaky this year, but he seems to be starting to get into a good rhythm. Since returning from an ankle sprain that sat him out for 8 games, he's shooting 40% from downtown. Prior to, he was shooting just 28.8%. Just on stationary catch and shoot alone since returning, he's shooting 54% from beyond the arc. The double teams that Banchero often gets and the vision that he has allows his teammates, including Franz, to get a lot of open looks from downtown. Franz has a nice step back 3-ball that he makes sometimes as well. What he doesn't really possess in his arsenal is an in-between game. He's taken just 42 shots in the mid-range this year and has made just 26% of them. He is clearly stronger this year though, with 23 N1s through 45 games. In 80 games last year, he had 31 of them. Now, he doesn't get fouled on shot attempts nearly as much as Paolo has much more power in his game, while Franz is more finesse-oriented. But Franz has made a more concerted effort to seek contact on drives. This is still an area of his game that he can get better at, though. Recently, he had a game with 38 points without even taking a single free throw, which is very rare. I mentioned earlier how he's an excellent cutter. Well, he's also terrific at being the facilitator in these situations, as shown here. Orlando ranks 3rd in the league in scoring off cuts, only Golden State and Cleveland rank higher. The Magic's defense is really what is catapulting them to another level this year. Now, they do things by committee, but this is a superb one-on-one defensive team. They're one of the best at getting into the ball in man-on-man coverage. Even their smaller players like Jalen Suggs, Cole Anthony, and Markelle Fultz are super pesky and tenacious. It's hard for opponents to find anyone to target in switches. They force the other team into a lot of tough shots and into a lot of turnovers. They're also terrific at racing back in transition to prevent fast break opportunities. Franz in particular is a good defender who's willing to take on all sorts of challenges. He has a nice combination of length, mobility, and technique, which is shown in these clips guarding in isolation. He's also second on the team in deflections. The Magic right now have the league's 4th best defensive rating. Only the Timberwolves, Cavs, and Celtics rank higher. Just some general stats on Franz. Through 45 games, he's averaging 21.2 points, 5.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists, and 1.1 steals, shooting 47.9% from the field, 32.2% from three-point range, and 85.1% from the free throw line. So that'll wrap up this video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe.